When I first opened my MBA essay prompts, I completely froze. Not because I did not have the experience, not because I had not worked hard, but because I had no idea what was actually expected from me. I remember thinking, what if my answers are too basic? What if I'm not good at writing? Or what if someone who writes better than me gets admitted and I don't? If you're feeling even a little bit like this right now, I want you to know something that you are not alone. And more importantly, MBA essay writing is not a writing problem. So if you're staring at your essay prompts right now and feeling stuck or overwhelmed, this video will help you think more clearly before you write anything. When I started writing my essays, writing was not my strength at all. Every time I read a question, my mind just went blank. I kept thinking, I don't have anything special to say. My answers sound too simple, and everyone else probably has a better story. On top of that, I was confused about the balance of how honest should I be, how professional should I sound, and how personal is too personal. That confusion creates pressure, and when your mind is crowded with pressure, it becomes very difficult to think clearly. So, one thing I learned the hard way is this: MBA essays are not a fast process. It took me days, sometimes just sitting quietly in a room, before I could even write one genuine answer. But once my mind slowed down, something surprising happened. The biggest misconception that I had, and I see many applicants make, is MBA essays are not testing your grammar, vocabulary, and fancy writing. I mean, it has to be correct, of course, but what they are actually testing is, do you actually understand why you want to do an MBA? Does your career story make sense? Have you reflected on what you have learned from your experiences? And do you have clarity about who you are becoming? They want to see your thinking and not your English skills. They are trying to understand what motivates you, what kind of impact do you want to make, and how does an MBA logically fit into your journey. Once I understood this, essays stopped feeling like an exam and they started feeling like a conversation. The biggest mistake I almost made, and I see many others make, is underestimating their own story. When I finally started reflecting properly, I realized how much I had ignored. Things like being the only woman in a 20-member go kart team in my college, encouraging more women to join, transitioning from a very introverted person, and even personal experiences like trekking the Himalayas and pushing my limits. At that time, none of these felt like big achievements, but essays made me see something important, that impact doesn't have to be loud. Your growth doesn't have to look very flashy. What matters is, what did you learn? How did it change you? And how did it shape the way you think right now? Many people write vague, generic essays because they're afraid of sounding vulnerable. But vulnerability is exactly what makes you human and memorable. Next, I want to talk about how I approached the most popular why MBA question. Almost everyone writes, I want to grow my career, I want to build skills, and that's okay. These things matter, but they won't differentiate you. The real work starts when you ask yourself, why does this matter to me personally? So, my why MBA wasn't just about career growth, but it was about becoming someone who could inspire others, especially women. You don't need a dramatic story, but you definitely need a stronger clarity of your purpose. Admissions committee can sense when you have thought deeply and when you haven't. Next, what to do before you start writing. Sit down and reflect on your life from start to present. Write down every story you can think of, professional, personal, small, uncomfortable. Don't judge them, don't edit them. Just build a repository of stories. Once you have that, essays stop feeling scary because you're no longer searching for content, you are shaping it. A simple and honest story will always beat a polished and fake one. Admissions committees are not looking for perfect people, they are looking for self aware and reflective adults. So it's okay to talk about your mistakes, your failures, and your learning moments. What matters is what did you learn and how did you grow? That's what signals maturity. Now, one more thing, and this is very relevant today, how to use AI for MBA essays without losing your voice. A lot of people ask me, should I use AI for MBA essays? And I want to be very clear with my view. AI can be extremely useful, but never start your essay writing with AI. Because if you start with AI, then you are outsourcing the hardest part of the process, and that's not writing, but that's thinking. Your essays are valuable because they contain your reflections, your patterns, your choices, and your voice. If AI gives the first draft, then your essays might sound polished, but they won't sound like you. And the worst part is, you won't even know what you truly believe because you skipped the reflection phase. So here's the method that I recommend. It's simple and it works. Step 1, start with a pen and paper, not a laptop. As I mentioned before, start building a repository of stories. To help with that, I want you to answer some questions on paper first, not because paper is magical, but because it slows you down and helps you to be honest. And don't try to build perfect sentences here. Write messy, write roughly, write as if you're talking to yourself. Here are the kind of questions that I want you to answer. If you answer these honestly, you will realize that you have enough content for strong essays. Step 2, then use AI as an editor and not as a writer. Once you have written your raw thoughts in your own words, that's when AI becomes powerful, not to invent your story or to exaggerate, and more importantly, not to write something that sounds like everyone else, but it does things like organizing your points, improving the flow, removing repetition, and making the narrative clearer. So you can literally tell AI, I have already written my raw ideas, now help me polish and structure it. If you want, you can use this exact prompt. And because this is a lot to remember, I have put all these reflective questions and the AI prompt in a simple PDF. If you want it, then I have linked it in the description box so that you can use it while writing your essays. If you're stuck with MBA essays right now, I want you to hear this. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough, and it definitely doesn't mean that you don't have a strong profile. Most of the time, it just means that you have not slowed down enough to really listen to your own story. Once your thinking becomes clear, writing becomes much easier. This video is meant to give you a starting point for essay writing. MBA essays are a big topic, so trying to cover everything in one single video wouldn't actually help anyone. So let me know in the comment section below if you would like more such MBA essay videos. I'll go deeper and break down the process step by step in my future videos. In the next videos, I'll talk about MBA interviews and resumes. So make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notifications. If you want more such honest, experience based conversations regarding MBA and careers in Germany and Europe, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.